Salvetiones, this is Amelia, also known as TheMartianGeek, and by a popular vote of 2-0, I am indeed continuing with the videos, at the expense of there being a bit of background noise that we're just gonna have to deal with. Apparently, I just need to learn to talk a little louder. Well, I can't exactly afford a speech therapist, so I will just have to practice projection, because we are dramatic! Very dramatic Martian Hobbit Ice Princess. Anyway, we are doing a new game now, so welcome back. This is Dynomite, specifically Dynomite Deluxe. I got it on Steam. I believe it's also available on GOG.com. This is basically a match 3 kind of game. You know the type, like Bejeweled, for instance. Puzzle Bobble, I think, is one. Also, what exactly is the deal with the Bejeweled anyway? Like, why is that game so popular? It's not as good as Dynomite or Cubus, among others. I mean, the only time I really played Bejeweled for more than a few minutes at a time, I think, was during a 9-hour flight after my laptop got stolen, and even then it was still less entertaining than rewatching A Bug's Life and The Emperor's New Groove. The point is, well, we'll start off with the tutorial. We don't really need it, because I can explain it, but let's just see what the game has to say. Also, I have a bit of a history with this game, too. This is like actually one of the first games I ever bought with my own money. Back in the early 2000s, I think it would have been. And that's when it took me like half a year to save up $20 for a game. So, I guess if my Super Mario Bros. 3 LP didn't take me on a major nostalgia trip, this one will do it. Anyway, on to the tutorial. Hi there, my name is Inchy, and I'm here to show you how to play Dynomite. You can exit this tutorial at any time by clicking the New Game button. If you want to skip the game basics and view information about each of the individual game types, click one of the links below. Otherwise, click Continue. Well, we'll get to those soon enough, so let's just continue. Let's start with some introductions to make sure we're all on the same page. This is the slingshot manned by the claw. The claw, it moves. This is what you have control over. This is Stiggy. He has the enviable job of loading the slingshot. Well, I cannot read today. This is Crony. He takes care of timekeeping duties. And this is Tank. He handles the detonator. You've already met me. I'll be around during the game to make announcements. And we call this big mess of eggs the puzzle. Okay then. The goal of Dynomite is to aim the slingshot and fire eggs at the puzzle. Sweep your mouse cursor around the screen and observe the slingshot and aiming arrow. I actually forgot to check if the recorder is picking up the mouse pointer or not, so I guess we'll find out together. But yeah, you can blah continue. Now you can fire an egg by clicking the mouse button. Go ahead and fire a few eggs and click continue when you're finished. Note that you can bounce eggs off the walls. And a fun thing to do is to see, like, the shallowest possible angle you can bounce it off, and still have it able to shoot. And just have a whole bunch of eggs like that. Anyway, continuing. Whoops. Up above me, you'll notice that I have 2 eggs of the same color right next to each other. Except I accidentally shot a bunch of extra eggs up there, so I ruined it. Furthermore, there's a very tempting stick of dynamite wedged in there with them. Now fire the red egg in the slingshot right at the red eggs up above, at least if I can get to it. Great, here's the rule. I didn't ruin it after all. Get 3 or more eggs of one color in a row and Tank will detonate them. This is how you clear out the puzzle. See what I mean? When you break several groups of eggs, one after another, you start accumulating combos. Combos mean extra points. Plus, if you can score 7 combos in a row, you'll receive a special secret Dynomite bonus. And we will show that off later, but for now, let's just continue. There's one other little wrinkle to be explained. Detonate the blue eggs in the puzzle and watch the red eggs. And not ruin it this time. Aha! If any eggs are left unsupported in the puzzle, they'll fall. Use this to your advantage. Yeah, the gravity and physics and stuff in this game are kinda weird, but hey, it's a video game. Rocks can appear in the puzzle, and the only way to get rid of them is to make them fall by breaking the eggs above them. Though rocks actually only show up in one of the game modes, so you don't encounter them that often. You score points for every egg you break, and that score will be multiplied by how many eggs or rocks fall. What he doesn't tell you is that the number of points you get for a certain group of eggs is also affected by the difficulty setting, but we'll get into that later. Now let's look at this situation. Sometimes an egg gets a little shaky, so to speak. When you see a wiggling egg like this, it means a bonus baby is ready to hatch. It won't last forever, so you have to be on the ball. So be quick, fire at the green eggs to get the bonus baby. Hatching a bonus baby will give you some bonus points, and a little something extra too. Fire a couple more eggs and watch the eggs that Stiggy picks. Well, for breaking the bonus baby, we get to fire an egg with a bonus item on it. You can fire a bonus egg into the puzzle and then detonate it to use the bonus item. Or just fire at a group of 2 or more, detonate it already. There are many different bonus types. Some will help you get higher scores, and others will help you play longer. This is a light bulb bonus. When this item is active, you can tell exactly where your eggs will end up when you shoot them. This is a score multiplier bonus. When this is active, any points you score will be doubled, tripled, even quadrupled. And an interesting thing about the score multiplier bonuses is they stack. Like if you get more than one 2 times bonus, it still only counts as 2 times, but if you get like a 2 times and a 3 times, then it counts as being multiplied by 6. So 2 plus 2, 3, and 4 times being active all at the same time is a 24 times multiplier. Not that you can actually pull that off very often, unless you get really lucky. This raise bonus, anyway, will push the whole puzzle upward. The widen bonus will expand your screen, giving you more eggs to break. The narrow bonus does just the opposite. And the widen and narrow bonuses, again, are only found in one game mode, so they're a little bit pointless. Meanwhile, the virtual egg bonus will give you extra points as though you broke this many extra eggs. Each bonus item has a different duration. Some, like the light bulb, last a long time. Others, like the virtual egg, happen instantly. So let's try a light bulb bonus. Fire at will. Ah, what did will do to deserve being fired at? When you detonate a bonus item, it'll spin around Crony until it runs out. And now we've got to broach a difficult subject. Losing the game. Oh, I know all about that. That's what happens when you think of it. At least, assuming you're actually playing it, which I don't. Whatever B.F. Skinner might have to say to the contrary, I believe that we have some free will. So, no, not gonna do that. Anyway, I digress. This is the warning line, this kind of rope-looking thing here. When an egg gets below the warning line, you are in danger of losing the game. Go ahead and fire some eggs into the puzzle. Fire away until you get an egg below the warning line. Let's see if I can actually successfully not lose for a while. Oh yeah, you even got a combo out of it. Okay, that's enough shenanigans. Now you've done it! You got an egg that's too low, and a rather obnoxious klaxon horn alarm. You have about 3 seconds to break that egg, or else. That happens. Ouch! But all is not lost. There's a little button over here that you can use to save your game when things get hairy. Yes, you can indeed save at any time in this game, but you are limited to 8 save files. Hey, it's not Trails in the Sky after all. That means you can save your game and continue it from the main menu at any time. And that's how to play Dynomite. You can quit the tutorial now by clicking the New Game button, or stick around and I'll tell you about each of the game types. Yes, let's do it! Okay, glad you could stick around. When you start a new game, you get a choice of 4 games to play. Endless Puzzle, Stunt Puzzle, Fossil Challenge, and Time Trial. So let's talk about Endless Puzzles. In the Endless Puzzle, you are faced with an ever-descending wall of eggs. Your goal is to keep them above the warning line. Let's try it for a few seconds. Fire away! It's easy enough, but there's a catch. As you clear away more eggs, the puzzle will start falling faster, but if the eggs get too low, it'll slow down again. And you need to keep an eye on Crony's hourglass. Let me speed up Crony a bit, and watch what he does as the sand runs out.
Whirly's coming.
This is Whirly. Whirly appears in Endless Puzzles, carrying an egg color that's not on the screen. So you see we only have blue, green, and red up here, and he's holding a yellow egg. If Whirly gets to the top of the screen, he'll add that egg to the puzzle. The more colors in the puzzle, the harder it is to get groups of 3 or more. And I just realized Crony's apparently frozen in mid-tumble animation. That is kind of silly looking. So when you see Whirly, you can shoot at his egg. This prevents a new egg from getting added to the puzzle. And he actually doesn't tell you this, but Whirly speeds up every time. Like, he's fairly slow the first time, but once you're up to maybe 6 or 7, or... basically, he just gets faster and faster every time, and flies in kind of a zigzag pattern. But we'll get to that. We're gonna actually play Endless Mode. Go ahead, I've stopped Whirly in his tracks. Let him have it, but there's a big tempting bunch of green eggs up here, so I'll get that first. Bye-bye, Whirly. Nice, but when you shoot Whirly, the puzzle speeds up very slightly. It won't slow down again until Whirly manages to get to the top. So, it's your choice. Do you want a faster puzzle, or do you want more eggs? That's the endless puzzle. It can be very easy or very hard, depending on how you choose to play. It's never very easy. I'm sorry, but I'm not really a huge fan of the endless puzzle in general. But we'll get to that, I suppose, when we get to it. The second type of puzzle, in any case, it's a Stunt Puzzle. Actually, there's an online version of this game, or at least there used to be, if I could find it, and the only two game modes it has are Endless and Stunt, so... Anyway, in the Stunt Puzzle, your goal is to clear levels of creatively arranged eggs. There's no rush here, but it's still not easy. Let me explain. Now, Crony doesn't appear in the Stunt Puzzle. Instead, we have the Mama Meter. Mama Brontosaurus doesn't care much for folks firing her eggs around. You'll notice that every time you fire an egg, Mama's temper rises. Fire a few eggs now and watch the Mama Meter. Mama's getting mad now. Go ahead and fire a few more eggs. When the Mama Meter gets to the top, Mama cools off by putting her foot down. So why didn't she have a problem with us shooting a whole lot more eggs in endless mode is what I want to know. Or with all those eggs coming to squish us flat that are just endlessly appearing. Anyway, it's a video game, so... Continue. Stunt puzzles can be slow-paced games that give you time to think about where and why you're going to shoot each egg. But beware, some of the harder puzzles can twist your mind. Well, actually, there's only really one that's a particularly difficult puzzle, but we'll get to that once again. Now I want to talk to you about the Fossil Challenge, and as I said, this mode is not available in the online version. But hey, the deluxe version's only $5 on Steam, so there's only one skill level in the Fossil Challenge. It starts out easy and ends up hard. This is actually probably my favorite game mode, too. Here's a fossil. Well, it's a fragment of a fossil. Every fossil here is made up of 3 fragments. Your goal is to break all the eggs around the fossil so that it falls. The fossil puzzle has 2 play modes, Strategic and Panic. Strategic mode is geared more toward people who prefer a thoughtful puzzle and rely less on the reflexes. In Strategic mode, the eggs don't move, yet. Think of it as a stomped puzzle without the Mama Meter. And Crony's back. When Crony's sand runs out, the whole puzzle will shift down a bit. So Strategic mode gives you more time to make decisions, but not all the time in the world. But Panic mode is more intense. The wall of eggs will slowly come down toward you constantly, and you have to shoot as quickly as you can. To make matters worse, whenever Crony's sand runs out, the puzzle will speed up permanently. So choose your fossil game mode carefully. If you're a thinker, go Strategic. If you want action, Panic is right for you. Needless to say, I am better at Strategic mode, but I have beaten both modes, so... Down here you'll see the Museum button. Go ahead and click it. Welcome to the glorious Dynomite Museum. The museum shows you all the fossils you've completed and all the fossils you have left to go. 2 arrows at the bottom of the screen will let you view fossils that are off-screen. Try it. So as not to spoil too much, I'm not going to go all the way to the end, but there are actually 15 fossils in here, meaning that there are 45 levels in fossil mode. Or fossil challenge, whatever. And I don't mind telling you, if you manage to assemble all the fossils, you'll get a rather large bonus. 10,000 points to be exact. That's the Fossil Challenge. Close the museum and we'll go on to Time Trial. The last game type is the Time Trial. Ooh, nice mass of purple eggs there. It looks formidable, but don't be intimidated. The goal here is just to clear the whole puzzle of eggs as quickly as you can. The Time Trial is a fairly relaxing game. You have nothing to fear from Mama's foot, because in Time Trial you can't lose. Now on the other hand, if you're going for high scores, it's not exactly relaxing, but go ahead, fire some eggs at the puzzle, and watch what happens when you get eggs below the warning line. Easy enough, you can shoot to your heart's content and the puzzle just keeps moving up. Looky here. The rows to go counter lets you know how many rows of eggs are up above. As you break eggs, the whole puzzle will slip down onto the warning line, and you can continue clearing off eggs. Speed is essential for getting a high score, but the Time Trial game is a good place to relax and practice your trick shots. Well, that's all I can tell you about Dynomite. You're ready for your first game. So get out there and impress me with some high scores. And indeed, we are back to the main menu. So we could start a new game, but I will save that for next episode. We've done about enough for this one. So, you started Dynomite. So, I will see you next time.